I really been enjoying your stuff. And, when I first saw you, I was like, who is this like old loser guy? Like how could he think like, this guy is like cool, but yet he's like pulling it off, and he's like, these people are loving it. And it's like, because, and I was like, and then I was scrolling through your history, like on Instagram. I was like, oh fuck, I get it. He's a fucking, he's obviously he's an actor, and I get it. He's a comedian, but like, but you did throw me off. You got me, because I mean, I've done comedy and I've done acting, and you're damn good. So I mean, I was just thinking like, wow, like he's probably has the fake beard, I don't know what you have, but like the fake whatever. And I'm like, I really bought it. Like, I was like, but like but I think it's like, just like Larry the Cable Guy. I think people like want you to be this guy.
Yeah, they very much do. I've had a few people who've gotten upset.
Right.
I doubt it is a character. It's kind of funny to me, but
yeah. Right. So welcome. My name is Harry Artin. I'm with the 313 Believe show, and we bring on fantastic and entertainment personalities throughout the interwebs. And we just recently discovered about a month ago a gentleman by the name of Rodney Norman, who's on our show right now. And he's a fantastic guy. He characterizes himself as like a comedian, philosopher. Thank you for coming on the show, Rodney. It's going to be okay. You're going to be fine.
Okay.
You're trying to figure out the camera. Okay, I got you. So Rodney, tell us a little bit about yourself, and like where are you coming from, and what's your mission?
Well, it just seems to me like everybody's just being really stupid, and everybody's getting stressed out, hot bothered about crap they can't do anything about, and we get all upset. Everybody's fighting about stuff nobody can do anything about. Meanwhile, there's lots of things you can be doing and should be doing, but you're ignoring that stuff because you're worried about all the stuff that you think is going to happen that hasn't happened, probably isn't going to happen. And so you're missing out on life. So I just figured I'd start pointing it out to people.
Interesting. So you want to get people to be more productive, kind of, in a way, right?
I just want people to chill out and quit fighting about crap they don't care about.
So what's one thing you think Americans really fight about these days that really hurts Rodney's sensibilities here?
Well, pretty much everything. Like guns, voting, gas prices, baby formula. Everybody's got all these ideas. Every time something happens, everybody becomes a freaking expert at everything.
Right.
And in reality, we're all arguing about information that is old, because what's really going on, nobody's really telling us. So why are we getting all hot, bothered, and upset about crap that we're probably getting lied to about it anyway.
Right.
We don't all have the information. So when it comes right down to it, we're being kept in the dark. So while we're in the dark, we might as well just have a good time.
Right. So where did you come from, Rodney? Where did you come from? Like a cave, or did you come from like outer space? Are you here to like warn us, or are you like a philosopher that's been transported for the benefit to Earth, for the benefit of humanity, and is basically spreading your message of goodwill? And what's your mission here? Like you where'd you come from?
Well, I don't think any of us know where any of us came from, which is kind of my point. I mean, we have no idea how we got here. We don't know why we're here. There's all kinds of theories and thoughts about it. Everything from there was just this big explosion, and everything started floating around, and then stuff thought, hey, while we're floating around, we ought to get together. And then the stuff got together, and then all of a sudden, hello, here we are. Or it could have been the God person said, hey, let's put something together because I'm kind of bored. let's do something so we can all kind of hang out and enjoy ourselves. And so now here we're. So So my point is, what I'm trying to say, we have no idea why we're here. We don't really have any idea how we got here. But regardless, whether it was a God person or just a series of happy accidents, we are here. So we might as well make the best of it and try to learn something and have a good time while we're doing it.
I love it. I love it. And it's like, but like, speaking to you as Rodney Norman, you are a comedian and a philosopher, and you are, where did you, let's just say, with you as Rodney, as the philosopher, what finally made you come into this vein? Like, let's say you struck a vein of gold. Like, what made you, what helped you to evolve to this? Jesus was a guy, he was a normal, and then all of a sudden he became the son of God. So where was the evolution of Rodney, like all of a sudden becoming, this sage, this philosopher that's really trying to help people?
Well, I was watching a friend on Instagram one day. He's one of these life coaches.
Okay.
And he was telling people, hey, you deserve to be happy, and if you feel like you need permission to be happy, I'm here to give you permission to be happy. And that's when I realized, this dude's saying things that everybody probably needs to hear and would be happy to hear, but nobody paid attention to him because he looks really nice, and he's got a perfect 10, he works out, he's got a lot of money, he's very successful. Nobody can relate to hardly any of that stuff.
Right.
And so I thought, that's it. I'm just going to become a life coach and start explaining stuff to people. And so I did. And most people just said, oh, who is this weirdo? What is he doing? And then when people started figuring out what I was saying, they were like, oh, hey, he's actually got something to say. And so, I'm not saying anything different than everybody else has ever said. It's just I'm not saying it the way everybody else is saying it.
Right. It's kind of like you're doing it in a really unobtrusive kind of folksy kind of, like you just don't care. I mean, it's just terrific, because it's almost like you're spinning the the whole social media around on its axis, because everyone wants to like look good and look young and look whatever.
Well,
you don't give a fuck. You look older. You're just like, who is this guy?
Well, yeah, everybody's trying to look younger. Everybody's trying to look like something that they're not, and everybody's trying to be something that they're not, so they can look better on the internet.
Right.
And I realized none of this matters. See how your hair looks, what clothes you're wearing, how you sound. None of this is important. None of it's all nonsense. It's all just silly window dressing. I
mean, that is your real hair and beard, right? Or no?
Absolutely. This is the real stuff, man.
How long did it take you to grow? How long did it take you to grow that?
I got it. It's my old face mask right there. Hey, put on a face mask. Here we go.
How long did it take you to grow a beard like that?
Oh, this has been. I haven't shaved. I guess it'll be about 4 years this November.
4 years. How old are you in real life? May I ask that, or not really? You're full of wisdom. I mean, you're like Moses.
I just turned 53 human years.
Wow. But you're trying to look older. I think you're trying to look older with.
Oh no, I'm just looking like I look. I've been dyeing my hair for a while, because I started going gray when I was in high school.
Really?
Yeah, and about 6 years ago, I was like, I'm tired of looking like this. I'm tired.
You're fucking awesome.
And so I was just like, screw it. I'm not going to dye my hair. I'm just going to let it grow out. I'm going to have a good time.
That's amazing.
I grow the beard.
Right.
Yeah. cover your face, because I don't have the best looking face. So I figure the more I cover up, the better.
So like, how did you get this whole "I don't give a fuck" attitude, which is so refreshing in this day and age of social media, and I think it's so important.
Well, like I said, the clothes you wear, the car you drive, the house you live in, the designer, all this stuff is just garbage and crap. It all deteriorates and goes to crap. You can spend millions of dollars on a fancy house and it still breaks down and falls apart. And if you ignored it for a little while, trees will start growing through it. I mean, everything that we think is important, none of it, it's all going to be gone and be nothing. I mean, we're spending all of our time trying to spend a lot of money and effort to have stuff that for what? Meanwhile, you got all these great relationships that you've let fall apart and you've ignored because you've been spending all your time at work. I mean, you can't take any of this stuff with you. So what? And then we spend all this money on garbage that we don't need, and we could take that money. We can help people who can't take care of themselves. We can help those people. Why can't we? Why can't we just, as a bunch of humans, just get there and go, hey, why don't we just take care of each other? And we don't need to, we don't need to have an oppressive government to do that for us. We just, as human beings, we can just start doing it ourselves. We don't need all the wars are started by the governments. If you don't have the government, you don't have the wars.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we got to send Rodney Norman out to the Ukraine and stuff, and have you talk to the Russians, or you think you would talk some sense into some people, or?
I don't think you could talk sense into Russians at all. To be honest with you, I've known a few. They're absolutely out of their freaking minds. Most of them in a good way. I will say that.
I like it. You tell it like, I mean, I try to keep, when I first saw you, I was like, how did this guy, did he do a lot of mushrooms? Did he do like acid? Did he have access to some special, something happened to this guy that just made him not give a fuck and just tell it what it is? And I fucking love it.
When I hear people talk about their mushroom adventures and ayahuasca and all this weird stuff that people take, and they tell me the experiences they have when they're taking it, I'm thinking, so these people are taking drugs so that they can experience what I'm doing on my own anyway.
Kind of like what Salvador Dali said, like, he's like, I don't need drugs, I am drugs. Kind of like.
Absolutely.
Right. So
just let your imagination go crazy, man. That's the thing, is we've lost our sense of wonder. We've lost our sense of play. Remember when we were kids, we'd play out in a sand pile for hours and hours. And we'd build cities, and we'd conquer, we'd have many little wars with each other. We just had fun. We just played and we had fun, and we didn't care what was going on. Next thing you know, it was nighttime. You had to go back in, and it was like you spent all day outside. You got the sunburn. You didn't care. You had to pee. You just peed your pants. Who cares? We were just kids. We were having fun. And then at some point in time, we stopped having fun. We had to be important. We had to do important things, and we had to grow up. And then you grow up, and none of it's any fun. But you have a bunch of stuff, but you can't do anything with the stuff because you're always working so you can have more stuff. And we've just lost our sense of wonder. We've lost our sense of play. And that's why I figure, hey, why don't I just start expressing to people how we used to be?
I love it. I mean, I just, because I mean, listen, I know your background is in comedy, but I do feel like you are definitely, you're definitely a philosopher that we need right now, that is, refreshing and different with a comedy twist. But at the same time, it's like just so, I think that's why a lot of people are relating to you, because it's so just real and unadulterated and just unfiltered and just you're right. I mean, I'm watching your stuff and I'm like thinking, my own, like, hell, I've been a comedian myself. I've like, oh, I got to get a real job and to support myself and to make money so that I could do comedy on the side. And I was like, this guy, this Rodney's like, he'd be like, just have fun, play, and then everything else will follow. Like, lighten up, folks. Like, this is like, we take things way too seriously. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We take everything you think is important. I mean, think about all the stuff you thought was important 5 years ago. You probably can't even remember what your problems were. You can't think of what was hardships you had 5 years ago because it wasn't a big deal. You overcame it, and stuff that you experience now that when you experienced it younger, you thought it was a horrifying thing. And then as you get older, you experience the same stuff and it's like, it's not a big deal. I've been here before.
Right. It kind of reminds you of that one video you had where you were saying, hey, folks, you're watching this video and congratulations, you've survived up to this point. So it's like, hey, at least you've done that.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
All the hardships that you've ever been through, you got through it. How'd you get through it? You just keep moving.
But I have to say, because listen, I've been through my set of hardships myself in real life and all this stuff. I have to say though, a series of something must have happened to you in your life where you just saw a bunch of crap that was just like eye-opening or something you had to have fallen not into a hole, or you had to have seen something. What happened in your real life, like that really just sort of was like, you know what, I'm just letting go and I'm going to tell people the real deal. Something happened in your life. What was it? Your kids? Something. I feel like something happened to you or something jarred something because you're a very unique person, very unique philosopher, very unique guy. I mean, you could be a comedian, sure, but you're also a philosopher. So something happened, like a series of something, or your parents raised you. Did you have hippie parents? What were your parents like?
Let's get real.
Something.
My father was a diesel mechanic. We moved around a lot when I was a kid, so I never really had. I always had a good home.
Okay.
But we were always moving around. Like every few years, I was starting in a new school, and I had to start all over all the time.
Okay.
And as life went on, I eventually, started my own family. And I'll tell you, the thing that changed me more than anything was I had a son who was 10 days old that passed away.
Oh, wow.
In 2000. And if you've ever been through that, it's the most horrifying thing you can imagine.
Right.
And
I knew something had happened. I knew it. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
It causes you to really do a lot of soul searching.
Right.
And and there, I've lost this son, but at the same time, I had to look around and go, look, I still have my wife, I still have my health, and I still have 4 other children, 3 boys and a girl who I love dearly. And I just thought, life is so short; it can be gone in just a minute. You could just be driving to the store and you make a right-hand turn and somebody runs a red light, slams into you, you're gone. It's over. Yeah. Just like that. You could be sitting at a light. I've seen accidents where somebody's just sitting at a light, waiting for the light to turn, and an accident happens in front of them, and the car just veers off and slams into them, and they're gone. Life can happen. I had a cousin who started taking good care of himself. He was only a year older than me.
Okay.
And a couple years ago, in fact, he's the reason I grew the beard so that I could be Santa, because he's been Santa.
I was gonna say that. I said, I think he did this. I think initially it came because I've played Santa Claus myself before. I was like, I think this originated from Santa Claus. I thought the same. Okay, but go on.
Yeah, it came from wanting to do Santa Claus during stand-up.
Okay.
In honor of my cousin.
Okay.
Who was only a year older than me, and he passed away a few years ago. And this is after he had gone on a diet, lost lots of weight. He was healthier than he's ever been. He was taking good care of himself, and then all of a sudden he had a heart attack and died. He was only 51 years old.
Wow. And, these two riveting things. I mean, your son, of course, incredibly sad, incredibly hard. But your son, you know, he is obviously an incredible magical spirit to you, because he is, I feel, created Rodney Norman. Like you have an incredible gift that your son, I mean, I feel may have opened a door. And I think it's just so, I mean it from my heart. Like I really, really love it. Okay, go on about your cousin.
Well, yeah, and after he passed, it just reminded me again of how quickly it can all be over. We keep thinking, oh, in a few years I'll do this, another year I'll do that. And you start making all these plans of what you're going to do with your life, and it's like we spend so much time planning and preparing for things that may not or probably ever will happen. Meanwhile, we're neglecting the gift that we have right now. We're neglecting our families. We're neglecting ourselves. We're looking past all this great things that we have, all these important things in our lives, and we're ignoring them. For what? To pursue what? What? So what if you become a really famous person and go down in the history books? Who cares? What does it matter? What about my legacy? What's the dumbest thing ever? How about just leave a legacy of joy with every person you meet? How about just make every person you meet feel like they were appreciated and loved? How about you just see people for who they really are? Why not just see the world for the way it really is, rather than this nonsense that we keep trying to create and get ourselves all this anxiety and all this depression has all come from these desires that we have that we don't fulfill. We have these dreams. Oh, I'm going to be highly successful and do all these great things, and then you don't do them, and then you get depressed because you don't do that stuff. And then you think, oh, why am I depressed? Oh, it's because I'm a failure. And we get this loop of nonsense going on in our heads. And when you just stop and just say, how about I just love and appreciate where I'm at, what I'm doing, and what I'm experiencing? Why can't I just enjoy the moment that I'm in, and just enjoy and love life? That's what it's all about. We get so caught up in things that don't matter, at the neglect of things that do. And we all know. I mean,
You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, I just, I was thinking like, okay, when I first met you, I was like, okay, oh boy, I should, I could introduce him to this guy and maybe help him get his own show on TV or something. I don't know what Rodney wants. And I'm like, and we'll talk about that stuff. But, the thing is, like, I do believe that your message is so much stronger than your desire for recognition or fame or fortune or whatever what you're saying is like that's why it's working, because it's authentic, it's genuine, it's real. And I've fallen victim to all this nonsense that you're talking about, from like, oh, I gotta succeed and I gotta do this. And I for years I struggled with the fear of success, and which is why I fucking loved your video, which I was watching last night, of the conscious versus the subconscious mind. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, because I've always thought ever since I was 16 that my subconscious mind was programmed to want to make success come in a difficult manner for myself, and like I shouldn't achieve success in an easy way. So I started like literally thinking that my subconscious mind was out to get me, and then I was starting to fight with my subconscious mind, and it became a complex for me. Like I was like, oh, I gotta fail. I can't. No, I want to succeed. Like my conscious mind wanted to succeed, but my subconscious mind didn't, or wanted to make success come hard because of stuff that happened to me when I was a child, and maybe guilt and feeling I didn't deserve success. So I started fighting with my subconscious. I was like, wait a second, this guy is like, like he's kind of like he's on my same wavelength, and he's talking about very similar stuff that's like very, you know, rudimentary, and it is a fucking pain in the ass. The subconscious mind is kind of, you're right, like it's like a pain in the ass, but it's like, but it also has to do with like success and failure. It's almost like you're like living the Tao Te Ching, like in the Tao Te Ching, the philosophy, you know, Chinese philosophy, they talk about like you know, living beyond success and failure. Like whether you go up the ladder or down, everyone wants to go up the ladder, or you go down the ladder, but you're still on the ladder. You're on shaky ground. So the thing is, you're going up, but like just keep your feet on the ground. Then you see the whole world as yourself, and don't think about success and fail. I think we're so wrapped up in success and failure, and as a society, as just human beings. And I think that you, as Rodney Norman, can kind of see beyond success and failure, and that it's not about success and failure. Am I correct?
Absolutely. I mean, success comes because of failure. You have to experience failure. You have to go through all that to be able to find success.
Right.
You have to do things really wrong many times before you get to do it right.
Right. And people are so afraid of doing things wrong that they never get it right.
Absolutely. And we convince ourselves not to do things because we think, well, if it's not perfect, or you know, if I can't do it right the first time, I don't want to do it at all, or oh, it's so hard, and we try to make things so difficult. Oh, I've got to spend years, and I got to do this, and that's why I'm not successful, is because because it's such a hard thing to achieve. And no, nothing is all that hard to achieve if you just start working on it, and not in a way that you're trying to
succeed.
When you do something because you love doing it, because you have a joy from doing it, and then you become better and better at it, and then you become successful at doing that thing, whatever it is. That's how you live the Tao. That's how you embrace. People misunderstand the Tao, and when this idea of just being,
doing, not doing.
We tend to think, oh, it means don't do things. No,
right.
No, it means to do things, but to do things with purpose and with intent, and to fully give yourself into it, and not allowing your doubts and your fears and all these things to encumber you.
Right.
And it's do things naturally when you understand how that works, where you just know that I'm going to do something new, and it's going to take time. I'm going to be bad at it. You allow yourself to be bad at it. You allow yourself to grow. You allow yourself to be like water and to go with the flow. And when you start to understand how it works and how it flows and how you work within that system, and once you start seeing all that and just start letting it happen, all of a sudden the miracles start to happen. All of a sudden the magic opens up, and you see it for what it is. You see yourself for who you are. And it all comes from just understanding of not forcing things, but just allowing things to take place, letting things take time, letting things be what they are. And when you finally start to see the world for all of that, for all the beauty and all the wonder it is, you don't care about making mistakes. You don't care about being wrong. You don't care about this stuff, because none of that matters. All of that's part of the process to get you where you want to be, to get you how you feel like you should be, to find your true self. You have to go through the layers. You have to go through the work. You have to go through all these things. Go through the flow. Find
your true self. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Before I forget, I do. So, in all seriousness, now, Rodney Norman, yourself, you are going to be June 15th at Hyenas Fort Worth, kind of the Smoke Monkey Music Hall in Rockwell, Texas, coming up. June, like I said, June 15th, through the 18th?
June 15th is at the Hyenas. Then the 18th
June 15th is in Hyenas, Fort Worth, Texas, June 15th. And then the Smoke Monkey Music Hall in Rockwall, Texas, June 18th. So you're going to be in Texas, June 15th and 18th, first at Hyenas, Fort Worth, then Smoke Monkey Music Hall. I like that name, Smoke Monkey Music Hall.
Yeah,
Rockwall.
It's a fun place. Great name. I think it used to be a transmission shop, and they turned it into a barbecue place.
So you're going to try to kind of like, because I've seen some of your comedy when you do stand up, and I'm like, I'm like, yeah, this is good, but I'm like, then I think I like the philosopher guy better. Like but sometimes when you're like in front of a microphone, because I know the difference, sometimes like people are like, oh, we want laughs, you got to be funny, but it's like, it's like I was like, oh no, he's got to go slower, like Rodney, how Rodney is online. He's got to be slower and let the audience kind of like, go by your pace. You don't have to, like, I was like, oh no. He's got to be the same guy, like this is just my opinion, but like he's got to be the same guy on Instagram, on TikTok, like he can't, let this audience let him be because you're not just a comedian. You're not just a comedian, and don't let people pull you into that either, that you're just a comedian. Because you don't, I'm sure, but I get the same thing is like, I would say set the pace, your pace, how you really are, and then have that audience follow you along with your pace, because your pace is different than a comedian's pace. That's my opinion. And I want to also introduce you to, like, off the record, a manager guy that I know, a really good guy, who could maybe help you. But like, I want you to spread your message. I mean, I need people to know Rodney Norman. So,
Oh, thank you.
yeah, I mean, that's my mission. I mean, I think it's, honestly, I think it's really refreshing, because it's like, again, I've been a performer, I've been a comedian, I've been a rapper, I've been an actor. I know, and I've also, done the things. So I appreciate your art, your craft, who you are doing. And also I'm into philosophy too, and religion. And I'm always trying to figure things out. But we can't figure anything out. That's the thing. We can't figure anything out. So we might as well just freaking, why did your son pass away? Why does your cousin pass? Like, why do people die? Why do people live? Why do some people live to 103 and they're not that good of a person? Or we think they're not, or some people, I'm just like, what the fuck? We got to enjoy our fucking life.
Well, we're trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. We don't have all the information. We don't have everything. We don't know the whole picture.
No.
So all we can do is just enjoy what we do know and what we do have, learn what we can, and hope for the best.
Does Rodney Norman believe in a God, or he just doesn't know? We don't know.
I do believe in a God. I do believe there is a purpose. I do believe that life has meaning, but I also think that God gave us a gift to not be involved, because it gives us the opportunity to really learn and grow on our own, to find out who we truly are. If God was always present, we always knew exactly who God was, well, then
we'd be kind of boring.
What's the use of learning anything? Because it's like, okay, just listen to him.
Here's the guidebook, guys. This is what you got to do. Yeah, life would be kind of boring, or but no, I just think that. So what we'll wrap up this video here in a couple minutes here. We're running out of time, Zoom or whatever. But anyway, we'll keep it concise anyway. I think it's good. What is the next stage for Rodney Norman? How are we gonna, what is your ultimate vision? How do we get you out there? Like the ultimate platform?
I have no idea. I really, as I tell people all the time, I wasn't planning on being famous. I enjoy comedy, and I enjoy philosophy, and I enjoy acting, and being able to bring all three of them together. That was just that was the joy myself, and to see other people like and love and appreciate it. That's awesome. This is more than I could ever asked for.
So you're in the process, and whatever happens. You're in the process.
That's where I'm at. Is just what happens. Because look, in show business, I've had a lot of people offer me things and make a lot of promises, and it's gone nowhere. And you just learn that you don't put a lot of stock in anything until it actually happens.
Right.
And so that's kind of where I'm at. I've been burned so many times. I've been promised things so many times. And it hasn't happened. That I'm just at the point now where it's like, look, I'm just enjoying what it is for what it is while I have it. And if it continues to grow, which I hope it does, I would love to do more acting. I'd love to do TV. I'd love to do all of it. I love entertaining. I love educating people. But if it never becomes anything more than it is now, I'm still happy.
Anyway, this is amazing. Rodney, this has been a pleasure. We're wrapping up here. Thank you for coming on 313 Believe. And it'll stop recording here in a second. So appreciate it. You're an honor. And you're a real breath of fresh air here.